Hey everyone. So for my example, I chose to focus on communication breakdowns in group projects. More specifically, when responsibilities aren't communicated properly between everybody in the group. My theoretical explanation is that communication tends to fail when people don't communicate. Um, just in like a group project, some people might assume someone else is responsible for this specific task, and no one actually says who's doing it. They just sort of kind of assume who's doing what, and then as the deadline gets closer, they start to realize like no one did this specific part of the project. Now we're in trouble. We gotta break through. We're behind, sort of thing. So just based on assumptions that someone else would take care of it, but they didn't. So I think there there are a few factors that can cause this. I think group dynamics, trust, fear of conflict, time pressure, people's willingness to ask questions. Some people might think they sound dumb if they ask a question, or they're scared to ask a silly question. So that can sort of lead to just winging it in a way. I think trust and assumptions played the biggest role. Everyone trusted the other group members to do their part, so no one really stopped to make sure everyone was on the same page. One thing that I realized when thinking about this is that communication can fail even if there's communication between people, technically communicating. Just because someone says something doesn't mean everybody perceives it in the same way. Clarification is just as important as communication for that reason. So you could tell somebody something and they might not understand it, but again, that goes back to group pressure and the fear and they don't understand it, and yet they're too scared to ask questions for clarification purposes. I think the most challenging part of developing a theory was going beyond just describing what happened and actually thinking about why it happened. At first, I just thought the group failed because we didn't communicate well, when in reality, there were other factors that kind of played a role in why it didn't work out the way it was supposed to. Sorry, I'm reading off notes here. I'm not just doing a script. But like people avoiding conflict or assuming that everyone would understand the situation the same way. I would describe a theory as a way of explaining why certain communication patterns happen. Theories are useful because they help you sort of dive into beyond one specific situation. It could be sort of the backbone as to reasoning behind why a lot of projects fail in a certain way. And they can be also used, theories can be used to help detect patterns in that, so that way in the future you can refer back to the theories that are there, and then sort of just kind of prevent something from happening ahead of time. I just believe overall this made me realize that good communication isn't just about talking, it's about making sure that everyone understands what their role is and what's expected of them. But my question for everyone is, have you ever been in a group where everyone thought they understood their responsibilities but things still went wrong? And what caused the misunderstanding, and how would you fix it going forward?